95% of the thoughts you thought yesterday, you will think again today, and you will think again tomorrow. Is this because you've been conditioned? Is this what the habitualized mind is? How are we going to change our reality if we can't change our thoughts? I spoke to Joe Dispenza, who's a chiropractor and works in neuroscience and neurology, and we talked about behavior, neurology, of course, and thought patterns. It was a fantastic conversation. Let me know what you think about this chat in the comments below and give us a thumbs up. I really enjoyed this conversation. It's important to me that we learn how to manage our inner reality, at least how to observe it, how to alter it and to change it. If you don't believe you can change your consciousness, then what are we here to do? We're just going to be subject to externally imposed stimuli, and our reality will be governed by powerful external forces. I think we can change our reality. Stay to the end of this conversation. I really want to know what you think about it, and hit me up in the comments below.
When you say like advanced meditation, I like to meditate all the time. I meditate every day. And obviously, I'm not in a position to evaluate how my immune system has been affected by that, other than sort of anecdotally. And I'm also bad at causality generally. Like if it was left to me, I wouldn't have noticed the relationship between eating a lot of food and putting on weight. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, then I just live reality life sometimes in a way that's so spontaneous that I don't connect obvious causality. But I still, in spite of the meditation and quite a significant amount of work, experience, not significant suffering compared to where I'm from and what I've been through. I'm not sort of saying relative to other people, but like relative to my own experience temporally. But I still, approaching 19 years clean, meditating 10, 12 years, there's still a lot in me, Joe. There's still a lot, and like even something as basic as being able to intervene in my own thinking, being able to intervene when I feel anger or fear or sadness or desire, that would be a very great tool for me. Is there anything that you can suggest, even in this somewhat limited context and format, that you think would be useful to me?
For a person who truly wants to make changes that are more permanent, let's just examine what our personality is made of. Our personality is made up of how we think, how we act, and how we feel. So I believe that your personality creates your personal reality. And in order to change your personal reality, your life, it means then that on some level we have to change, because nothing changes in our life unless we change. So if people understand that 90% of the thoughts that they think every day are the same thoughts as the day before, that's a fact. And the same thoughts always lead to the same choices. The same choices always lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors create the same experiences. And the same experiences produce the very same feelings and emotions. And those same emotions influence our very same thoughts. And our biology and our circuitry and our chemistry, our hormones, our gene expression stays the same because we're the same. But the repetition of firing and wiring the same circuits in our brain in the same way causes us to create a very finite set of circuitry that becomes our identity and our personality. And nerve cells that fire together wire together, which means you keep doing it, it gets easier for them to fire and they run more automatically. So it turns out 95% of who we are by our midlife is a set of memorized behaviors, unconscious habits, hardwired thoughts and attitudes, conditioned emotions that are so familiar to us that it doesn't even feel like fear, or it doesn't feel like sadness. It's just who we are. So it usually takes crisis or trauma or disease or diagnosis or your lowest point in your life where you're knocked to your knees. And for that moment, you actually have a view of yourself outside of yourself. You can see yourself from a different state. The facade, the whole illusion is over. And that's when a person really begins to think about what they've been thinking about. They begin to notice how they speak or how they act. And I think they begin to pay attention to those feelings on a more regular and conscious basis. And the word meditation, I looked this up because when I started my journey. I'm very scientifically minded. The word meditation, the symbol means to become familiar with. So then the first step to change, if you wanted to create a new life, you have to change. To change your personal reality, you have to change your personality. And the first step is consciousness or becoming aware. So the moment you become conscious of your unconscious thoughts, the moment you become aware of your automatic reflexive habits and your emotional reactions, the moment you can become so conscious of those unconscious states of mind and body that you don't go unconscious again, so familiar with those states. And how many times do we have to forget or go unconscious till we no longer forget or go unconscious and we stay conscious? That's lighting a match in a dark place. And most people, when they do meditation, they actually think, when those voices come up and when the chatter starts and those emotions start, they actually think that they're doing their meditation wrong. And I want them to know that they're actually doing it right, because you're coming up against those thoughts that slip by your awareness unnoticed or unchecked by many people. You all of a sudden catch how you speak. And people say, if I really want to be happy, let's think about this. I don't want to complain. I don't want to blame. I don't want to make excuses. I don't want to feel sorry for myself. I'm going to stop that. Now, that's breaking a habit of being yourself. That takes a lot of energy and a lot of awareness. And our environment then, the circumstances, our environment are always available for us to think and feel equal to everything in our life, So the environment for many people, as we said earlier, controls the way they think and feel. So when they respond to their coworker, when they respond to the news, when they respond to the traffic in their life, that response causes them to return back to those unconscious programs. But sitting in a meditation and really sitting in the fire and believing that there's something on the other side of that thought, believing that there's something on the other side of some behavior or some emotion that makes us feel a certain way, that's stepping into the unknown. And it takes us disconnecting from the environment. That's what meditation is about. Playing music or hearing nothing, or closing your eyes and not eating, not smelling, not tasting, not feeling with your body. You're putting your body away and you're not letting it be the mind or the program. You're making it sit still. You're training the animal, right? And a person starts feeling emotional and they catch themselves starting to feel those emotions. Instead of letting that emotion drive certain thoughts or actions, that person settles the body down in the meditation and brings it back into the present moment. And that's a victory. There's so much change happening right now currently in the world that we have every reason to allow our response from the environment, some condition, some circumstance, to cause us to emotionally react and think in certain ways. And I think that anything that controls our thoughts and feelings, we're victim to. We have lost a certain degree of conscious will or conscious control. So for me, it's an important time to really practice and to learn how to self-regulate. And I think the key is to be able to teach people how to realize that they have within their reach all the neurological and biological machinery to begin to really produce effects in their lives. So then going from the victim of our circumstances to the creator of our life tends to reverse the process. And I think when we see those coincidences and opportunities and synchronicities that begin to appear in our outer world, I think we start to believe that we are the creator instead of the victim. So for me personally, it's an amazing time because we start to realize that no government, that no religion, that no healthcare plan is going to take care of us. That we have to learn, first of all, how to self-regulate and control our inner world of thoughts and feelings. And at the same time, find a community of individuals that are a collective network that are not fractured by fear or by anger or by pain, or hostility or prejudice or whatever it is that drives us into separation as a community, because living in survival is living in stress. And when we respond to the environment over time, it actually weakens the organism. We get weaker. The environment is our response is causing us to fall to a lower level of consciousness. So what we discovered in our work is that collective networks of individuals that can self-regulate and open their hearts when it goes against the thousands of years of conditioning and programming, that the collective network of individuals, a community with a new consciousness, I think, is what is the future.
Well, has that changed your perception of your inner reality? Whose thoughts are they in there? And if your thoughts influence your behavior and your behavior becomes your reality, how can we change ourselves without changing our thoughts? Give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, have a look at either of these two. Please sign up to my mailing list right there. You can join us on exclusive Zoom calls. You can come to live events and you'll be the first to hear about everything that I'm doing. And by God, I'm doing a lot. More important than any of that, though, is that you please stay free.